So yeah, today's class is about JavaScript time functions. When I say time functions, we have already seen time object wherein you know how to create a new date. Now time functions here, what I really mean is these functions depend on time. Like they get activated. Like there are certain functions which are used to trigger some actions based on time. Like for instance, if I want to call an action after some time, let's say, or if I want to call an action, okay, for every second, let's say. Okay, so we use these are time based function, so there is time in it. I say some time and every second and some time means that there is time involved in it. So when time is involved in it, we need some functions based on time. So those functions, there are two functions in JavaScript which are on time based. So here, that's the reason I call as time function. Yeah, you just keep posting. I'll keep talking here. So they are set timeout, okay, and set interval. So set timeout has two parameters. Okay, the first parameter is a function to be called. So what do you need to do? Then here's some code. Any code. You can add a function inside, you can add anything inside. Then the next is time in milliseconds. Fine. So the next function is set interval. So I capital, always remember JavaScript functions are camel. I forgot the word. Sometimes this happens. Camel case. Yeah, that camel case, like the first word will be starting with small letter and the next word will be starting with the capital letter and followed by small letters. So set interval. Okay. Again, the same syntax, whatever the code you want, and here time in milliseconds. The only difference here is, okay, this function set timeout will be called after time in milliseconds. Okay, and this will be called for every time in milliseconds. Okay, so these are the two functions. Here the function and the time in milliseconds, and here again the function, then time in milliseconds. Now let's go back and go ahead and see some examples to implement these two functions. Any questions here, Taufik? I'm going back to share my screen here. So now, yeah, today's class is is time functions. Okay, time functions are nothing but those functions which are triggered based on a time interval. Okay, those two are set timeout and set interval. Set timeout is a function which is called after this milliseconds. So this is the logic which is used to be executed. This is the logic. Okay, whatever which is in black here, or I'll use my pointer here. So this particular piece of code will be executed after this time. So always this time is in milliseconds. So for 1 second, if you want to execute this particular piece of code for 1 second, it's 1000 milliseconds. So you have to give 1000 here. The same is set interval. Set interval is like a loop. If you want to execute a function based on time, like say for every 5 seconds or for every 1 minute I want to execute this, then this is the set interval is a default function in JavaScript which is used to call a particular piece of code which is this for every time in milliseconds. All right, let's go ahead and see what we got in examples here. Yeah, can you guys see my screen here? Does anyone have a problem with this? Just let me know. So sometimes there will be a problem in seeing screen, so you guys can just uh, openly share that with me, like saying, hey, I can't see the screen. Taufik, Priyanka, and V for Vivek. Vendetta. Can you guys see the screen here? If yes, I can go back to the programming. So while I'm sharing my screen, I won't be able to be in the class. So, but I'll be coming back to the class in between. So that doesn't mean I'm going out of the class. I'm just going to my screen. So yeah, great. So here, right, as usual, our class starts with the doc type. So the doc type tells the browser, hey, this particular document is of type HTML5, so just parse it according to the HTML5 standards. So that's what the doc type actually does. So again, HTML tag, every code goes inside HTML. HTML has two parts, which is head and a body. Alright, so here in the head, the title goes inside the head. So title is very important for Google search, as we discussed, and it's very important to know what page we are looking at. So this is Tutoslive, JavaScript. I'll say set time out. Right here inside the body, I'll write it div ID. We always use IDs. So let's say set timeout, right? What I want to do is okay, here's a time, or not just time. Let's say set timeout. What I can really do with set timeout is I trigger this after 5 minutes. So let's just do something here. So I said before, like the script should be at the end always. So I can add a script inside the body too. Doesn't matter. So here, so set timeout. Set timeout function. Set timeout function, and I want this to be called after, let's say 30 seconds. So 30 seconds is 30,000 milliseconds. Okay, this is, I'll say 30 seconds. Okay, now what I want to really call? I want to call, say, let's say alert. Alert. This is called of 30 seconds. Alright, set timer after 30 seconds. Everything is good. So let's just save this. I'm saving this as JS